Are you looking for Solutions Architect interview guidance or Cloud Architect interview guidance? If so, this video is for you. Hi, my name is Michael Gibbs and I'm the founder and CEO of Go Cloud Architects, and we're an organization dedicated towards building high-performance cloud computing careers. Today we're going to talk about some very common solution architect interview mistakes. And we want to talk about them because we want you to get hired as fast as possible, and these are some things we see very frequently with solution architect interviews, and we want to keep you from making these mistakes. The first mistake we're going to talk about is do not ever say anything negative about your past employer. It's extremely common for the employer to say, "Why do you want to work here?" It's also common to say, "Why do you want to leave your current job?" And this area is riddled with things that can go wrong. Do not say you don't like your job. Do not say you don't like your manager. Do not say you don't like your company. If you do, you will negatively bias the employer not to like you. Instead, say, realistically speaking, you just desire to improve. There's limited opportunity at your current company and you're looking for an organization that can provide a long-term career path. Show that you're looking for more opportunity, that you're motivated. No one can fault you for being motivated, but they can definitely fault you if you don't like your past employer or if you say negative things. See, when you say negative things, people wonder, are you the source of the problem or is the organization the source of the problem? So be positive at all times during your interview. If they ask you why you want to leave your current job, don't say anything negative about your current employer. Just say you're looking for new opportunities. The next thing that I'm going to tell you on your job interview, a common mistake I see for cloud architects or solution architects, is not getting to the point. Don't babble. Your goal as a cloud architect or a business executive or anyone is to communicate with as few words as possible to get the maximum amount of information contained. So don't babble. We see this a lot of times. Someone asks you a direct question, ask a direct answer. Focus it, make it clear, keep the interviewer engaged, and you'll be hired. But if you keep babbling randomly, it's something that's going to be hard to follow. And if it's hard to follow, the employer might think you don't actually know what you really do know. So be very careful. When you're explaining technology, what is the tech? How does it work? And why did you use it? Frame it in that way. It's going to make sense to the hiring manager. Is going to hear it and say, wow, I like this. This person's smart. They need to hear that you understand it. And that's how you should frame it. So don't babble. Get to the point quickly. Next, another common mistake we see is not reading body language. Here's what I mean. When you're interviewing, someone's asking you questions. And when you answer them, you have the opportunity to look at the interviewer and determine if they like it or not and or change your tone. Communication, and Harvard did the work on this, and they found that 55% of communication is what you look like when you say something, 38% is what you sound like when you say something, and 7% is actually what you say. So when you speak, look at the hiring manager. Are they leaning forward like they're interested? Keep talking. Are they leaning back in their chair? Stop the topic. Are they crossing their arms? Okay, if that happens, you got to change what you're saying. And if their feet are pointing towards the door, they're ready to end the interview, so don't hold them hostage. That's your chance to salvage the interview. So don't ignore body language. Body language gives you something interesting. So far, what did we talk about? Don't say anything negative about your company. Get to the point, don't babble, and read the body language of the employer that's interviewing you, because he might give you some good information to help you tune your interview. Next thing is dressing inappropriately. Make sure for all jobs you wear a suit, a business suit. If you're a man, and if you're a woman, you wear the equivalent. Just because someone says we're casual around here does not mean you can walk in with a t-shirt like this with a collar. It doesn't mean you can wear just a button-up shirt. Wear a suit for an interview. Make sure your shoes are shined and polished. Make sure your belt is shined and polished if you're wearing one. Make sure you put yourself together. Remember the data from Harvard. 55% is what you look like when you say something, 38% is what you sound like, and 7% is the content. Give yourself the advantage. Wear a suit. It's considered the business etiquette for any type of solution architect interview or cloud architect interview, so it's not only the following the etiquette, but it will make people take you more seriously. The next thing that I see commonly on solution architect interviews, and this is one of the most common cloud architect interview mistakes and solution architect interview mistakes, is not listening. A lot of times when you find yourself on an interview, a hiring manager starts to babble. If you find a babbling hiring manager, this is a good sign. They like to talk. Let them talk. Listen to them. Don't be trying to solve their problems. Don't be trying to show them things. If they want to talk, let them talk. People that really want to talk like people that listen. So if someone's talking to you, listen. A couple things are going to happen. You're going to hear things that may key you in on how you should answer certain interview questions. You're going to hear things that are going to tell you whether you want to work at that company or whether you're not. You're going to hear things for which you could establish rapport with the hiring manager. You're going to hear a lot of things by listening. Cloud architects, as a rule, should listen more than they speak, because that's how we're going to get the information to build our designs. But on an interview, listen, listen, listen. So if the hiring manager is talking, listen. The next thing is not having some strengths and weaknesses identified ahead of time. Every employer will ask you, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? And it's pretty common. So if they ask you, what are your strengths? Call out your strengths. You know what they are. If they ask you about your weaknesses, you need to have an honest weakness. Don't make it up. Don't say, I'm so motivated, I take on every single project, and then I get tired at the end of the day. No one's going to believe you. The interview's over. What you do instead is basically tell them an honest weakness. People can tell when you're lying. Tell them an honest weakness, but tell them a weakness that's not a showstopper. For example, by nature, I'm not the most organized individual in the world. It's something I've been working on my whole life. I have checklists and things like this. So when I go on an interview and say, what are your strengths? I tell them I'm highly motivated, I'm energetic, I've been in tech for a long time, I have a lot of competency, I communicate well, and I like people. And I like to bring out the best in others. And when they ask weaknesses, what do I say? I say I'm not very organized. I've been working on that forever. I have checklists. Why? Because it's a real weakness. I am not lying. And it's not a showstopper weakness. If you were to say, I'm lazy, or I have a bad attitude, or I don't like to work, you're not going to be hired. So give them a real weakness, but make sure it's not a showstopper. The last thing that I've seen people do, which I've seen, this is one of the worst solution architect interview mistakes or cloud architect interview mistakes, is on the interview when they say, do you have any questions? And they say, yes, tell me about work-life balance. Let's be honest. An employer is hiring you because they've got a lot of work that needs to be done, and they need help. They're hiring you to solve their problem. They're not hiring you or going to pay you to solve your problems. They want to solve their problems. So the second you say work-life balance on an interview, it's over. They want to know you're willing, you're motivated, willing to go above and beyond. What do hiring managers desire? I'll tell you, I've polled thousands of them throughout my career. They want technically competent, they want energetic, they want enthusiastic, they want passionate, they want trustworthy individuals. And they want people that know what they know and know what they don't know. And someone that's willing to go above and beyond and work in a team. The second you ask about work-life balance, you don't sound like someone that's energetic, enthusiastic, passionate, or motivated. So that instantly could end it. Now, if they start talking about work-life balance, listen. There's nothing wrong with listening, but don't ask that question. If they ask you, do you have any questions, say yes. What are your goals, Mr. or Mrs. Hiring Manager? Because if I was part of your team, I'd want to know that I could help you solve your goals. So that's the way you should answer that question. So today we talked about a lot of very common solution architect interview mistakes. We talked about not making any negative statements about your previous company or manager or peers. We talk about not babbling, getting to the point quickly. We talked about reading body language is essential on an interview. It can give you lots of things. Even on a virtual interview, you can still gain a lot of information. We talked about not dressing inappropriately, wearing a suit, which is appropriate. We talked about listening to when the hiring manager is talking to what they say. And we talked about not asking questions like work-life balances. And we talked about making sure that you have some strengths and weaknesses that you can tell the employer. I'd like to tell you about some services we do at Go Cloud Architects to help the cloud architect community. Every Monday and every Thursday, we have a completely free How to Get Your First Job webinar. And on this webinar, we teach you everything that you need to know to get your first cloud architect job. And it's completely free, and we do it twice per week. Now, every Tuesday, we have a Cloud Architect Experience webinar, and we have a lot of fun on these. On these webinars, we typically bring you on, and we will present a complicated architecture to you, and you build the architecture with our coaching live on these calls. They're free, and we hold them most Tuesdays. Not every Wednesday, but as often as I can, I get on YouTube Live and I answer any kind of questions you can. I call it a live Cloud Architect career question and answer session. I do it most Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. GMT, whenever I can, so we do that for you. We also have, if you're interested, a completely free AWS Certified Solution Architect Associate Training Program and book. The link is in the description below. We have a completely free AWS Certified Solution Architect Professional Bootcamp that we did. I'll leave the link in the description below. And next month, on July 13th, we are going to be holding a completely free and live on YouTube AWS Advanced Networking Bootcamp. See, I love networking, one of the original CCIEs. In fact, my number is 7417. So whenever we have a chance to talk about networking, it's fun for me. So we're going to have a completely free AWS Advanced Networking Bootcamp coming up. So if you're not a member of our channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you're going to be notified of all these exciting opportunities coming your way. It's an honor and a privilege to be part of this Cloud Architect community. I'm honored and grateful to be able to communicate with you with this YouTube media so we can help each other in our careers. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in a new video next week.